bump it. What is up? I'm ready for...
The onset of fall weather, Coach, certainly a welcome occurrence for folks in Silicon Valley, and we've got football on a gorgeous day here in Santa Clara as we are situated at Levi's Stadium. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Levi's Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was deafening. They're set for football as the 49ers get ready to do battle with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Down to 70, Indy.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't
go.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Let's go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A carry for Bryce Love, the fourth-rounder from Stanford. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
60 Pittsburgh. Here we go.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there for the Niners. 44 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On first down, here's Love. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Add this game to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
On first down, and now on the pitch, the ball's loose. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 40, 20, 10. And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Extra point try, good by Gano. And it's now a 7-0 game. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Hooking up here with Trent Taylor. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. They'll run here with John Kelly. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Squeeze.
Let's go, you tighten up. Hey, check.
2nd and 13. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Brian Burns make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. On is the rookie 4th-rounder Mitch Wishnowski to punt this one away, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 18. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. So Newton and the Panthers come up now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Here we go. Let's get it. Check. Walk 54. Check.
Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Now on 2nd and 16. Newton. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16. Mullins and the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. They'll run on 1st down. It's Love. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Go now. 90 Wolf.
At the 23-yard line. Nice, sweetheart.
Go.
Back to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The free safety, Trey Boston, there to knock it away.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job. Way to knock it down.
They'll look to throw here. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Come on, set. 54.
You ain't doing nothing today.
Get it.
A first carry for the former Falcon, Tevin Coleman. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and goal.
Down. 15 line. 15 line.
Get this one.
Ready.
2nd and 10. This will be caught at about the 6. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They're going to look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
CD, you know there were quite a few Bears fans back in January saying, why didn't we hold on to that Robbie Gould guy?
Well, it's a legitimate question. 33 of 34 for San Francisco in 2018. The crazy stat of the year, he missed more extra points, 2, than he did field goals, 1, in the 2018 season.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Watch the pass.
On second down now, Blunt. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Fielded just inside the 20. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Love. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Set, ready, 8, read.
Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy?
Looking to throw. And that is incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the 1st down, even throwing the football.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they've got themselves a 7-0 lead here, but that, you recall, was a defensive touchdown, so still under a heavy rush, and down he goes. D Ford Came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. To throw is Newton. Looking here for Smith downfield. They got his man complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big pickup of 38.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. On first down, Blunt. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 47-yard line.
The set, ready? 54, 54. Hey, here I come. Here I come.
Now a toss play to Blunt. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Back-to-back running plays putting him in negative territory. What can they do coming up on 3rd and 15? Newton now to throw. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
First down, Panthers.
It's it. Ready? My 5-4. Let's go, baby. 20.
Now a carry for Blunt. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd and inches, Newton, and the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Ready? 57. I know he ain't got it. Tighten up.
On 2nd and goal, Newton, and he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. Cam Newton, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
But this was a pass all the way, but he just kept buying time, didn't he? It was kind of like, wait. Oh, it's open. Time to hot-foot it and go. And, boy, was he successful.
Yeah, didn't go to the outside toward the pylon, just straight ahead, middle third of the field.
Shortest distance between 2 points. Straight line.
At their own 24-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. Now, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Brian Burns in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. 2nd and long. And the pressure gets to him again. Brian Burns has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Score. Check 24. Check 24.
He'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. That's taken on the 25.
Let's go.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Let's go, boy.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2nd and 14 at the 32-yard line.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was looking to get that one to DJ Moore, and it's 3rd down.
56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Yeah. You don't want none.
Out of the gun, Newton. Rolling to his left. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Pilardi now on to punt as he sends this one away. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The 20. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ DJ Moore. 95 yards. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
2nd and 1. Man open, it's Goodwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. They'll throw now on the final play. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. So we come upon halftime, intermission here with the visiting Panthers taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Blunt. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Airing it out deep for Smith. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Now Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. That one goes for 24 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
Ready? Go, 180.
Mike 5-4. Pick me up. Here we go. Slam, slam.
Great.
On 1st and 10, Newton steps away. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Ready?
Right there, 54 Mike. Watch the curl, watch the curl.
Express.
Promotion, I got one.
On 2nd down, Blunt. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Let's go, let's go.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Take a set. 180.
I got it. Watch tight, tight ends right. Watch tight.
To Ware on the draw. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. And the Niners get there and bring him down. DeForest Buckner make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Well, enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. The shotgun snap for Newton. And that will be incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Now the 49ers going to take another timeout. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back. On now, Graham Gano. He's hit from 63 as recently as last year. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns. Well, remember, last year in Week 5, Gano was good from 63 away to beat the Giants on the final play. This not as critical of a kick or as long, but also not as successful.
You're exactly right about that. I was fortunate enough to be on the call for that game, and me and my crew, we got to see him. And when they lined up, we thought, that's a long way. We know he's got a big leg, and then he hammered it. Probably would have been good up to about 70 yards. And after the game, the head coach, Ron Rivera, told the media that his special teams coach had told him, hey, he's good up to 65, coach. And each game, that's what the special teams coach does. Evaluates the distance, lets the head coach know.
Yeah, no doubt he's got the leg, but this time couldn't put it through. And from the 25, they worked this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Whip. Watch the whip. Big dash.
Rock it.
Switch.
Go, Jack the 5.
2nd and 6. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
The offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now back to throw. Completes it to Samuel. 19 yards that time for number 19. Samuel, the 36 overall pick in last year's draft. Played his college ball at South Carolina. Really good senior campaign. 62 catches, 882 yards, and also threw in 11 touchdowns for good measure. And no pitch there, and no chance either, as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Ready?
5-9. Coming.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. He'll drop to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Oh, good footwork on the spin. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they load him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put six. And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
They'll run it here with Blunt. They find some open field here. And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. Past the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. LeGarrette Blunt, 79 yards. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes, the Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. That's Luke Kuechly with a sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
They'll set up to throw. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Back to throw here. Deep ball for Goodwin. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Hey, what's that? Ready? 54. Mike, 54.
They'll run again with Blunt. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. 30, 20, 10. And finally out of bounds, just a few yards short of the goal line at the 3. A big play there for Carolina. 61 yards that time on the ground. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first and goal situation. They'll go to Pirine, trying to pound it in. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's third and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's about a 3-yard pickup there, but more importantly, they're still a few yards away here. It's now fourth down and goal. And he pushed it from short distance, wide right. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the fourth quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. From the 22, here's second and 8. Here's second and 8. His throw incomplete. Another incompletion. It's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Dontari Poe marches in for the sack.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Brian Burns. And an utter disaster as the ball's going to go over on downs at the 2-yard line. So quite a turn of events. This is first and goal from the 3.
Switch up.
They'll try to run this one in. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be second and goal.
At the 6-yard line.
Come on, set. 90, Wolf. Check. Watch 54. I got you. Say go.
And they take a knee. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? And they will take a knee here. Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal. This from 25 yards out. And that is going to be no good. He pushed it wide to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, and you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one. I don't think anyone got a finger on it. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
Running to start the drive is Love. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
Every player I know tends to play the game in his mind before it actually happens. There's no way he thought that at this stage of the game, this would be his first big run like that.
Yeah, but it's got to feel for him like the floodgates open, a sigh of relief. Now we'll see if things can open up for him.
See if it can continue.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. It's a 6-yard loss on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. Again, here's Blunt. And look at this for the 2nd straight play. The 49er defense drops him for a loss. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter, in the zone, the ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And that's caught at the 25. A big play there for Carolina. 42 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and that's been a real issue for them during this game.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. They'll keep it on the ground. Blunt. And look at this for the 2nd straight play. The 49er defense drops him for a loss. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after.